Now, I'm wondering, before we move forward, right? I'm wondering, was there something in your process, right, as an entrepreneur yourself, right, and growing your business that caused you to start to put that kind of in place to say, you know what, let me actually do a little bit more digging up front to find out if this individual is a good person
Yeah.
to work with me. What happened or transpired to say, okay, I need to do this, moving forward
Hmm.
for myself and for my, employees.
Unfortunately, it was two instances of Christians uh,
Mm,
not playing ball well. Uh,
mercy.
and it's very easy to put across and to say the right words and to act in the right way, but under pressure real character comes through. And in
Mm,
several high pressure situations these two guys didn't really do the bare minimum required or expected from a person that claims that they follow Christ.
mm-hmm,
And that made me think long and hard about who do I serve with my work.
mm,
It's not enough for somebody to say, "Oh well, I'm a Christian. I go to church." Well, big deal. So what? So there's like millions of other people they go to church, but they don't follow Christ.
right.
And it kind of shows in how you treat your people, how you treat your suppliers. Me being one of them. Um, and it's a simple thing, If you don't pay your workers,
Hmm.
how do you follow Christ?
Hmm.
No, it was
Hmm.
pain that led me to be more picky of who to work with.
Yeah. Sometimes that's what happens, right? And I think a lot of us, as we go through our process of growing a business, that's a part of the process at the end of the day. And especially if we don't have maybe a coach or something like that that's guiding us, right? That means there's going to be a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. I
Mhm.
remember early on in my experience working as I did video photography for many years. And I remember one time I actually agreed to do an edit for someone, and I also agreed that they would be there while I edited, and that was the worst a choice I could have ever made in my life, right? You know what I'm saying? Something that should have been super quick, super easy turned into a gigantic thing, right? You know what I mean?
Mm.
But again, right? So now that helped me to learn. Okay, that I learned a lesson from there. This other situation helped me learn a lesson from here. This other situation with this client made me say, okay, I need to put these things in place, right? So all of these are things that help us along the way, along the path, right? And again, it's similar to, that's why I always call it biblical entrepreneurship. I mean, it's similar to our walk in faith with God himself, right? That along our way, as he's seeking to refine our characters, we see things say, I always fall when I'm in this position or this situation, or I trip up over here. I need to start putting Lord, help me to put these parameters in place so that way I
Mm.
can stay connected and focus on you, right? It's the same process of refining, and we do that same thing in our business that we do in our personal and our spiritual lives, right? And us as entrepreneurs need to understand, not be, we need to learn that the lessons, these losses that we say, or these L's that we take, are important because they will teach us and help us
Yeah,
at this point in our life, so that later on down the line we don't have to make the same mistake again. But we don't need to
exactly.
drown in those mistakes, though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was. I think it was Jordan Peterson that had one of his tweets like a week ago that says,
Uh-huh.
"Life is suffering."
Mm.
Like, well, life contains suffering, but life is growth. But if you
Yes.
don't suffer, you're not gonna grow. And I'm thinking of we're as long as we're in this cement mixer and we're tumbled and hitting each other against whatever obstacles, we are being refined. But
Mm.
if we're not in that mixer, if that concrete is poured, it's gonna solidify and there's no growth there. But as
Mm.
long as you're in it, as long as you're struggling and trying to figure stuff out, you are getting better because of that suffering. If there's no
All right.
suffering, you're probably walking not so good of a path when there isn't any suffering there. So,
Thanks for watching the Line and Lambo podcast. We hope this clip has been a huge blessing to you. And we want to remind you that we drop new videos, new podcast episodes every Sunday at 9 o'clock. You can find the full episode by clicking the card up at the top right of this video. If you prefer an audio only experience, then we want to let you know that we're streaming through every major podcast streaming platform. For the full list, you can go to www.lionandthelambo.com. Until next time, go impact the world.